you ready for a little Southern humor mixed with relevant topics we can all relate to? We're about to pull back the curtains and mix it up. Scoot your chair up. It's time to talk about all the things and ask all the questions. Welcome to Get It Together, y'all.
Welcome to Get It Together, y'all. We're so glad that you joined us today. I'm your host, Cindy Larson, and we have an amazing show for you. I'm so excited for you to meet our guest, and we're going to have a good time kicking it with somebody that's going to motivate the socks off of us. We're gonna be ready to conquer the world when this show is done. So I'm excited about it. Isn't that right, April?
That's right. I'm April Potter. I'm your co-host, and we are so excited for this show. I feel like I say that every week, but it just is so exciting to see the different variety.
We have fun. We have fun guests.
Yes.
So we go every once in a while. We've done this from the get-go. We will sit down and talk about our ultimate, dream of, let's have a show on that. Let's have a show on this. And this is just to entertain us.
Yes,
so whatever
mostly.
we think is fun, whatever we think is funny, we're going to roll with it. And we don't worry about it. But this guy that's on today, and I'm going to let April tell about Jason, but she has been on a short list. He's been on a short list of April's for a minute now, like since maybe list one.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yes, and so we have my friend Jason Santiago. I don't even know what to say about him. I mean, it's miles long. How do I even put a title on you? Can you tell him just in a paragraph or two what all you do?
I change lives, essentially. So
That's
I
right.
love that.
I find people and I essentially make them believe in themselves,
Yes.
right? I feel like God is putting all our tools inside of us. We just have to reach inside and pull those tools and use them. So
Yes.
that's what I do all day. I'm very passionate about serving people. I know that's my passion. I've done it since I was 19. We'll talk about that soon. But
Yes.
I'm here to serve people, change lives, and give people that light and show them that, hey, whatever you need to solve, it's inside of you.
Yes.
That's right.
And
You're a difference maker.
I mean,
Yeah.
he okay, so he literally changed my life. That's
I
one
know,
reason
I know.
he's here.
I appreciate
okay?
that, April.
So he really did. And I mean,
appreciate
spoke
that.
so much truth into my life as a trainer, as a personal trainer and just friend. But I'm like, some of the nuggets he would give me, even when we're training and he's speaking and saying these things, I still draw from those, and I still
Appreciate that.
they've carried me through all these years.
Yeah.
And so super proud to have him here today.
well, that's awesome.
And I appreciate both you ladies for inviting me.
Thank you.
So funny thing is, I'm looking, to get on more podcasts and
Yes.
starting to spread my personal brand and change more lives.
Yeah.
And April reached out to me, and I was like, let me take this opportunity to begin. So
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative of both you ladies for giving me this opportunity today.
Oh, we're
Yes,
just
absolutely.
excited. And, a lot of our guests are nervous to be on camera or nervous to be on a mic, and they're slow to get us the information we need because we ask for just a few things like we need a picture and a bio.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just like, well, what do you want me to say? And Jason's like, on it. He's just like ready.
He's excellent in everything he does. I mean, really, it's like
awesome.
he's one
Appreciate
of those
that.
people. So.
I live by that motto. If you stay prepared, you never have to get prepared, right?
That's
Right.
So sometimes it's a lucky opportunity. So if that opportunity ever presents itself, I just got to make sure I'm ready. Whatever you ladies need from me, I'm going to make it happen because
That's awesome.
you could be doing, spending time with other people. So I
Right.
want to
Yeah.
maximize
Great
my
attitude.
efforts.
Well, that getting ready thing is so good. My nephew is an athlete, and there were times coaches would have him benched, and he'd know he's not playing a game, but he would be so diligent in practice and so ready, and the first one there and the last one to leave, and he's like, I can't get ready if I'm needed.
Yep.
I can't tell myself I'm not going to play today, or I won't get ready.
Yep. And the good thing about that, he has a good mentality about that because the coach is watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The leaders
sure.
are always paying attention to the people that work for them or, on their side and just making sure that when I need this individual, are they showing me that they're ready?
Yeah.
So he's doing the right thing. That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're excited about, getting you kind of on our team because
Yeah.
we like to have a Rolodex of people to say, hey, there'll be guests in the future that we'll know that you could help just enhance a conversation, we'll call on you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll definitely be
April
on
has
it.
my number, so whatever you ladies need, just
Yes.
text, call. I'll be here, okay?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited. We hope that you pull up a chair and grab you some coffee or green drink or a protein shake or whatever it is that you want to be sipping
like,
on,
yes.
and get you some little notepad, and you're going to want to lean in and listen, because today's going to be a whole lot of fun. So, Jason, we do a couple of things, just kind of off the top of the show. We do a couple of things around here, and we've kind of gotten used to them. Our audience is a little bit of a fan of a couple of things that we do, and one is a fun fact. And so my fun fact, I have a couple of fun facts today, but I have also got, you've made me think of some things, and I'm gonna kick it put a couple things before you and see what your opinion is. But one of my fun facts. Okay, so I'm obsessed with like the 1500s and reading about some different periods of our history, and we have sayings today that we say without thinking, and they've come from somewhere, right? And this one I just learned. We say throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Where did that come from? Well, I'm going to fix and tell you.
Tell us.
In the 1500s, getting hot water was a big deal. Like you had to get a tub of hot water. It took a lot, because you have to boil that water, and you have to put it in your tub. And so they would, very few times a year would they literally have these proper baths. And so the men of the house, so the dad would be first, and then the sons of the family, and then when the sons have all had their baths, then the mom, and then the daughters, and the very last to get in this tub of water were the babies. And the water would be so dark that they would say, now don't throw the, because the water was so bad. And so that's where we get the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Like you might lose the baby in
You
the bath.
might, because it's so dirty. The water's so dirty.
I would have made the baby go first.
I know,
Why?
but that's not the way they, they went in the hierarchy of the family, and the dad, and then anyway, isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's true history. So you learn something on this show.
Make us have appreciation for running water, right?
Yes.
Take it for granted every day.
Right. So you have a fun fact?
I do.
Okay.
Did you know that there's about 2,000 thunderstorms that rain down on Earth every minute?
What?
I know. And do you know the highest winds for a thunderstorm, not tornado, but thunderstorm? Do you know?
No.
160 miles per hour.
No.
Is still
So
can
I
be in
wonder,
a thunderstorm.
What makes a thunderstorm different from like I guess straight line winds? That would be straight line winds.
And maybe the turning, like the
That would be a tornado.
Yeah.
But a hurricane would have to be originating over water and then landfall. But if it's just straight off,
thunderstorms.
Thunderstorm.
That's a lot though per minute.
Man.
What is it again?
2,000 thunderstorms
Wow.
So,
rain down on Earth every minute.
do you have anything? You don't have to have anything. Like, if you don't have anything, just
No,
comment on ours.
I thought the fun fact was supposed to be about me. But
Oh, it can be.
Yes.
That's
You
funny.
can totally tell us.
Absolutely.
my fun fact, my claim to fame is I tell everybody I was one of the first helicopter pilots to fly President Obama in Afghanistan.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a fun fact.
He was a senator at the time, so it was July 19th, 2008. He was on his campaign trail, and he came to Afghanistan. I was out there flying, and lo and behold, I got to fly him.
That is
Wow.
incredible. So you're a pilot.
Yeah.
Man, tell us
Yep.
something that happened to you. Like, you have a ton of stories about
I
that,
got
I'm
so many
sure.
Army stories. It's crazy.
So you were in the Army.
Yep.
Yes, he served.
And how long did you serve? Where were you
I did
stationed?
15 years in about 6 months.
No, because you're not but 20.
No, I wish I was 20 again.
Not me. Not this girl. I would not go back. Woof, Lord. I would mess it up again.
No, you wouldn't.
I would do it again. But go ahead.
Repeat the question again.
Well, just, stories from, is that like the first big, monumental career of your life? Did you go right out of high school?
No, so I was planning on going to play college football.
Oh.
And I got hurt my senior year. I called the college coach. I don't have a sexy story or anything. So
Yeah.
called the college coach and I was like, hey, you going to give me some money for college? He's like, nope. I was like, well, this is the day after my birthday now.
Oh.
I said, all right, I'm going to join the Army. I went and told my mom, I was hoping that she'd pay for my college, right? I said, hey, Mom, I need some money for college. I ain't giving it to you. I said, well, I'm going to the Army then.
Oh.
So I joined the Army. I was a 45 kilo. That was a tank turret mechanic. I fixed big guns. Went to Germany for my first duty station.
Yeah.
9/11 happened. Stayed in the Army. I was in Iraq. That was my first pivotal thing, my first deployment. I was in Iraq in 2003, October. Got there about October 13th, and it was just crazy from there.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've experienced, you grew up fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you grew up fast.
I tell everybody, there's two places to become a man, okay? The military or playing football. Those two things they're gonna shape you up very fast.
Yeah.
And I was 23 years old in Iraq. And I tell a lot of people, it's crazy. I got a 24-year-old son and a 23-year-old son.
Wow.
And I see them now, and I'm like, the things I was doing at their age
Yeah.
is crazy. I tell a lot of 20-year-olds, I'm like, think about what I was doing when I was your age. I wasn't flying helicopters then, but I was in combat.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a crazy story. We had to drive from Kuwait all the way to Mosul, okay? And right before we started driving, I was in my vehicle by myself. They didn't have anybody to ride with me. And in the Army, usually got the driver, and then we call it a TC. It's I can't remember what the terminology is because it's been so long, but we have a TC, a truck commander, I think it is.
Okay.
And they do the navigation, but I was by myself. Last minute, they gave me 2 soldiers. And I was like, hey, nice to meet you. And we started driving.
Wow.
That was
So how far was that journey?
Oh, that was... So we're talking about southern Iraq. We're not even in Iraq yet, all the way to northern Iraq.
Wow.
Mosul is the most northern part of Iraq. So
Yes,
it took us a
long
little
way.
bit of time. We stopped in Samara for about a month. And then from there, we drove up to Mosul.
Wow.
So I've been all over the roads in Iraq as well.
That's crazy. Wow. So we love soldiers. I mean, who doesn't love
I appreciate
soldier
that.
stories?
Passionate about
Like,
that. You
we
know
really
that.
are.
Ugh.
We just we could ask you a million questions. One of the things that that I did ask Jason when he was sitting down, I said, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I guess that's something that I assumed because of your name and everything. But and you do, but it's not. You didn't learn it as a child at home. So,
Correct. I've been around it my whole life. I was just when you get to like second, third generation from being displaced from Puerto Rico. I'm from Puerto Rico, the island, right?
Yeah.
You have to assimilate to American culture, learn the language, and my mom just never really taught me. So, but I've been taking it upon myself every day. Every day I'm studying, and my Spanish has gotten so much better. I'm pretty comfortable. I could go places and talk to people, but most of the time I tell people no because I don't know how good they speak Spanish.
Right.
And then there may be a breakdown in communication.
If you were ever put in where you were just assimilated in Spanish culture, like you would
You'd
have
pick it
no
up so fast.
trouble.
Oh yeah, I go to Puerto Rico at least 3 to 5 times a year, so I have no issues when I'm there, and it's getting better.
Yeah.
It's
So-
like everything in life; you just got to practice, right?
My husband, he grew up as a missionary's kid. And so he learned English and Spanish at the same time.
Nice.
So he, even though he's not around it, it's kind of just in his Rolodex of he can talk Spanish really, really well. And I love that, but he will not initiate it.
Yeah.
So, I told him the other day, so he had a business call and it was after hours. So I was hanging out and he hung up this business call and the guy had a really strong accent. And when he hung up the phone, he said, I probably could have started talking to him in Spanish. And I said, "Oh, why didn't you? That's right. He did have a really strong accent." And he said, "Oh, I said it's a good thing that if I was bilingual, I'd be ridiculous
time.
about it. I would start talking Spanish and go, oh, silly me, I'm bilingual. Are you just English speaker? So I would be like ridiculous.
Or you
like,
can be like Chloe that looks amazingly Spanish and then country is cornbread.
And I said, then I had to like spin off of that. I said, also, if I was a doctor, it's a good thing I'm not a doctor because I would be ridiculous. I would be at a restaurant going, well, since I'm a heart surgeon, I think I'll have a hamburger or just something that doesn't make any sense. Like I would just bring it up when it's not even, necessary. I would be ridiculous because I think I would be so proud to be that. So
it's a good skill to have. It's something, it's part of my top 5 things I'm focusing on for the next 2 years. I realize it's going to take at least 2 to 3 years to get fluent in any language.
Yeah.
So I'm getting pretty good. I feel comfortable now. So
that's awesome.
I go to restaurants, no issues.
Yeah.
So our fun facts, we've kind of covered. And then I'm going to tell you something else that we like to do, and that is Southern mothers. We like to talk about our Southern mothers. April and I have Southern mothers.
Yes.
We are Southern mothers, but we like to talk about our Southern mothers. And then we like to ask all of our guests, what was your mother like?
Oh, my mom was tough.
Was she Southern? Let's say that.
No, we grew up in Connecticut.
Okay, not Southern, so we need to educate you a little bit.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. You can just fill us in. Tell us something about your mom.
She's a single parent, raised 4 of us, very tough but loving. Always made sure we had everything. I mean, I love that woman to death. She was a good provider.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know how many Puerto Rican women you ever met in your life, but they're very close to Southern women. They're loving, nurturing, but they're still tough, right?
Are they mama bears? Are they?
Yeah,
They fight for you.
very protective. That's one thing my mom always says: don't mess with my children. So
Yes.
there's some very.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 4.
Okay.
Well, 3. There's 4 of us total.
Okay. So where do you fit in that?
I'm the baby.
You
I did not know that.
And there comes the dimples.
Yeah.
Like I'm the baby. Oh,
This is the
man.
baby.
I'm the baby. So,
Are you mama's favorite?
I don't know. I
do know.
I
You
never
do
really
know.
asked her.
You know.
You can say it.
Yes.
I don't know, honestly. I would maybe yes. I'd say yes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have the energy of a yes.
Yeah.
So the other siblings, girls, boys?
I have 2 brothers. One of them did pass away
Oh, okay.
when I was 5 years old. That was one of my first memorable, your life significant events in life.
yeah.
I remember that day like it happened yesterday. We're talking 39 years ago.
Wow.
And I still remember that. So I have 2 brothers. My brother Jeremy, my brother George is the one who passed away. Then my oldest sister, her name is Gladys. So
Yeah. Do you mind telling us how your brother died?
he had leukemia. So
really?
yeah, he had complications. You know how I guess when you're getting your radiation, it affects your immune system.
Yeah.
He got pneumonia. He passed away technically from pneumonia, so that's how he died.
And where did you guys live at the time?
We're in Connecticut.
Yeah.
But my mom was up in Massachusetts. He was getting his care in Massachusetts, I think in Boston. So
Wow. Tough.
and that was one reason why I think 2 years ago I donated a $7,000 check to Ronald McDonald House because they paid for everything for my mom while she was up there. So
Wow.
that was a blessing there.
So awesome.
Definitely
Yeah.
a life-changing experience. Wow.
Yeah, my mom's been through a lot. Before that, my father died. All right, my father died 3 years before that. Then my brother passed away.
Man.
And my mom had a rough life, but she's a tough woman, and I love her for that.
Now, was your mom a believer? She
Yeah.
raised you in church and all that?
Not so much, but she had her periods where she'd be in church, and
Catholic or?
we started Catholic. I went to
Yeah.
a Catholic school growing up. Then we did Christian, born again Christian.
Yeah.
So we did that as well. But she's a believer. She believes in God. No
How
question.
did you
about
get to Tennessee?
that. Retired from the Army.
Okay.
Yeah, I retired Fort Campbell, and
Yeah.
I was going to TSU, Tennessee State University.
Yeah.
I was getting my MBA. I said instead of driving from Clarksville to Nashville every day, I'm just going to move to Nashville, and I've been here since I got in Nashville 2015. I've been here since 2006. I came here from Egypt.
Okay.
Right, and then I went down to Fort Rucker for 2009 to 2011, came back, and I've been here since then.
Wow. And so you're married or?
No, I'm not married.
Not married?
I'm divorced, so yep.
That's okay.
Single now, so
Yeah.
yeah.
It's I wouldn't be single. Oh man, it's hard to date. Like, how do you?
It is hard to date.
Oh,
That's why I've been single for so long.
That's a whole nother
but
story.
I am
isn't it?
looking, so hopefully God will bless me with my wife soon. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. You have any Southern mother stories you want to tell?
I was just thinking in the car on the way over here, like, my grandmother and my mom always said pretty as pretty does. Like, if you don't have a good attitude, you can be as beautiful as you can on the outside. But if you have an ugly heart and you're nasty and hateful, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
So I've just always carried that with me,
I got a funny one that I'm going to tell on my mom. My mom, she's from Texas. And then we live in Tennessee, so she hasn't gotten better. She's gotten worse with her funniness, her Southern way of talking and looking at life. The other day I was, and I just have to write this down because nobody will believe it. But I was talking to her about somebody whose child was an addict, and I was she was saying, well, I just got off the phone with. And she was telling me about her friend, and she said, I just feel so bad for her. Her son is I got to write it down, a prescribed drug addict. Prescription.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like still trying to figure it out. Like, what does that mean?
I know. I had to write it down. I wrote it down.
So I wasn't
prescribed drug. I'm like, okay, I'm going to talk about that on a podcast.
Yeah.
One time
that's
she said she got a new phone. And, she went from the flip phone to just a regular phone. And she said, these kids with these Tex-Mexicans, they can text Mexican so fast. I can't text Mexican. I said, Mother, it's text messaging. Not Mexican. It's text messaging. And so anyway, she's like,
funny.
But I know what she means and I can translate it. But,
Yes.
I just thought I had to share that
That's
with
our
y'all.
sweet Southern mothers.
Just so you know that there are some people that are prescribed drug addicts.
In case you're wondering.
Now you know. Well, what you had some questions for Jason?
I do.
I know
got
you're
a lot.
loaded.
I got a bunch.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit about what you're doing now. You want to talk about some of the past stuff you've done and then kind of segue into where you're at now?
Okay.
I'm back to Army Day, catch us up from that. So you came here for that, then you got your business.
I retired from the Army. I started as a personal trainer. I needed a platform to continue to change and save people's lives. So I said, hey, let me be a trainer. So I became a trainer. I was extremely successful doing that. Then I got this idea, let me open my own gym. Now, my fun fact, over 80% of gyms fail within the first year.
Really?
Yes, it's very hard to own a gym. It's still open now, but we changed our business model. But the gym I currently own now, it's been open 5 years, 6 months.
Wow.
We used to have a brick and mortar, but I shut it down in March just because overhead and a few other things.
Yeah.
And now we're strictly online, and we're just changing more lives online. So
Really?
that's the route we went.
So how does that work?
Yeah.
I want to know about that.
You reach out to me, we get on a Zoom call. The biggest thing is I need to make sure that we could work together, right? Number one, I need to identify that people are coachable.
Yeah.
I need to understand that you'd made that decision to change your life as well. I find out your goals. If we're compatible to work together, then essentially I build your program out, give you accountability, nutrition, change your mindset is the biggest thing. We have to change your mindset, right? And then from there, we just start working.
I found in 2 different ways. So I used to be a makeup artist, and people would come to me and say, I want a whole new look. And they didn't want a whole new look. They couldn't handle it.
Correct.
They just wanted me to tell them that they're okay in how they do look.
Correct.
And I can't wear eyeliner because it just makes my... And they didn't want me to solve that problem. They just wanted me to pet them. And same way with... April and I have done a lot of decorating, and we've gone into situations where somebody was saying, see this room? I want a whole new look. And we go... Like, you can't handle a whole new look.
Yeah.
And so I can imagine that taking people what they're saying and really what they're showing you. You have to kind of devise a plan that will actually, because some people just want to have an excuse. Well, yeah, you're the only one in the world who doing this plan doesn't work for.
Correct.
I get it. No, that's not right.
The biggest thing I'm trying to do is get people to love themselves.
Yeah.
Like truly love themselves.
Yes.
And once they figure that out, that's when you start seeing like the life change, and you see that look in their eye. I always compare it to when I used to fly with young aviators. When you leave flight school, you really don't know how to fly. You just good enough. You don't kill anybody, right?
Yeah.
But you see that look in their eyes when they start getting things and it starts making sense. Same thing as I start changing people's lives. I can see it in their eyes that, all right, so this is starting to work. They're starting to get it. They're starting to believe
One
in
of my
themselves.
favorite things about when he was my coach was the way he trained and the way he coached me. It was so positive, but he was hard on me. I mean, he was like not going easy at all, super hard on me, but it was all about believing in yourself. And it was not, he would go, why are you apologizing? You apologize too much. He literally told me that one time, and I'm like, okay, you're probably right.
Before we went on the air, you said, how'd you girls want to get into podcasting? I said, hold that thought.
Yeah.
We'll answer that on camera. So Jason did ask, so what was your question again?
What made you ladies want to start a podcast?
All right. So it is the very thing we're talking about right now. It's that people don't love themselves. People, that's why we have the title, Get It Together, Y'all. But at the end of every program, and I'll do it today, I will say, we're here to help.
Yep.
Because my thing with people is that if you can realize how much God loves you, and we were all made so perfectly, even with our flaws and our funky personalities and our weird sense of humor, and then we go around trying to be like somebody else, and not really improving on what do we do that's special, what do we have that is amazing, and quit studying somebody that's so different from you, and just embrace you, make you the best you can be, be yourself, only better.
I agree 100%.
So we just want to say, as just a common theme through our Southern humor and through our just loving people that tune into our program, is that we can all tighten up, we can all do better, and surround yourself with people who will believe in you and not tear you down, because we need more of that in this life, rather than this social media perfection that's not even real.
No, that's part of our whole mantra too.
Yeah.
I agree with you ladies 100%.
It's you see people online and you're seeing the best, and you're not seeing all the struggles or what made them get there.
You're seeing an airbrushed picture.
Or a corrected, or
I'd like to tell people that God made only one of you. So be busy being the best version of you.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. It doesn't matter at the end of the day, right? Just there's something unique about all of us. Like fix what you have going on and give that to the world. And that's one of the biggest things I focus on now, making sure that I'm the man I never had in my life, and I can present that to the world to try to lead people to become the best version of themselves.
Don't you think that there are some missing pieces in our conversations, and that's what we just like having, is some good conversations, but to strive to be emotionally mature is also so important in your mindset, so that you can put things in perspective. I like to say, I know what pocket to put that in, or I don't know what pocket to put that in. Like, what do I do with that information or this situation that's consuming? I'm not in control of something, but it's obsessing my brain, and what do I do with that? And so being able to, in your position, being able to help people to just strike this balance of, the just life and naminating life.
I think the Army, being a helicopter pilot, taught me a lot in life. Like I became the man I am due to the Army and a lot of Southern men. I was raised by Southern men in the Army, and
awesome.
I love those guys to death. I mean, they hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But one thing I tell everybody, especially when I was flying, not everything is an emergency. Right? We had this saying in the Army, anytime something would happen, punch the clock.
Yes.
And the reason I would tell my young guys, hey, punch the clock, is because you're doing something. It's not nothing crazy, but you're doing at least something. Everything's not an emergency.
No.
What we think is a big deal is really not a big deal. Like, write it down, sleep on it, go talk to a friend about it,
Yeah.
whatever you have to do, but everything is not a big deal. And I had to even learn this myself, right? Because
Yes.
we live in a world now that it has to happen now.
Yes.
If it doesn't happen now, we're anxious and worried. Don't worry about it.
I just had this conversation. So
Yes.
my security for, I work in music.
Yep.
So my security guy is an Army guy. And he literally just said that. Everybody thinks everything's a 10. And he goes, it's not. It's a 2.
Correct.
Until you've seen your best friend get killed in combat next to you.
Yeah.
You
I've
don't
seen 10
understand
days.
perspective.
Yeah. I've seen 10 days. I mean, I've had a lot of, I'll tell you one story. I picked up an Afghani guy, okay? When I picked him up, he was pretty much cut in half. He's on the back of the Black Hawk. His organs are out of his body, but he's still alive. He has no idea that this is his last moments in life, right? And I tell people that when you've looked death in the face, right, you look at life completely different.
Yeah.
Everything's not an emergency. Everything's not a big deal. Most of the time, you don't care what people are thinking about you. If people are thinking negatively about you, those are probably not the people you want to be around anyways, right?
Right.
Your circle should always empower
your
you
people.
and lift you up. So just find other people to be around.
Yeah.
If we understood, I had a mentor of mine one time say, if we understood how little someone thinks about us, we would care so little about what they actually think, because
Correct.
they're not thinking
No.
Correct.
about you.
We think they are.
And they're thinking about themselves, and the funnel of all information goes through this funnel of what's in it for me.
Yeah.
So what would you say? What would you say to your younger self? Your 15-year-old self, or what advice would you like to have us?
What I would tell myself is life is about relationships, right? Life is so gentle. It just takes one thing. I mean, like you said, my best friend, he got killed instantly in Bagram, all right, Afghanistan. We were hanging out a few months early. He was actually with me a few months earlier. Indirect mortar round came in, hit his B hut, killed him instantly, right? So life is about relationships. Stuff is okay, but it's about relationships. Now,
Yeah.
you have to, what I would do if I was 15, I'd go back, tell myself, hey, just trust yourself. Every decision you make, it's going to work out. As long as you believe in God, you believe in yourself, it's all going to turn out right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change anything about my life. Not one thing, because everything I've done has taught me something to make me the person I am today.
Now a question: what would you like to be known for?
That's a good question. I would like to be known for somebody that actually cared. I actually care. I care what I look like. I care how I make other people feel, right? And it took me a lot of work. One of the biggest things, just being exposed to combat a lot, you have a lot of trust issues. I still have them today. But I would like to be known that, Jason actually cares about people. He's a man of his word. What he does, he's going to do it. Even if it takes some time, he's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
But just believe that what you see is what you get. There's pretty much no fakeness here.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that.
You know what's interesting about us being in these chairs? We get to interview doctors, musicians. We've had such a variety of people, and what you said just now is so crazy that it's kind of a similar theme that successful people have said is relationships, whether it has been,
For sure.
we had some people from the entertainment industry who are at the top of their field in television and movie productions. And we said, how would somebody go about getting, in your industry? And they said relationships.
Yep.
We talked to industry insiders in Nashville that work with some of the top names in music making, and we've said, what would you say to somebody wanting to get in your industry? What would be your biggest advice? And it's relationships.
Right.
And I think that in life, I mean, I think that we're in a culture that is so quick to cancel, quick to
Write you off.
a lot of times we have two couches here, and a lot of times on purpose, she will invite somebody and I'll invite somebody, and they don't know each other. And I will happen to know, hey, they're not on the same page, but we let a conversation flow. And I'm not afraid to have those conversations.
Yep.
Right.
And if we can just as a society, this is my high horse, but if we will quit deciding who we can be friends with,
Correct.
and decide that we have more in common. I bet you we have more in common than we don't. We
Right.
might even know some of the same people. We might have had some similar life experiences. We
Yep.
might have belief systems that are actually, more the same. And in a combat situation, you have each other's back.
Correct.
And in life, sometimes people are just, it's all about themselves.
Correct.
And if we could be more like that.
That's one thing the Army taught us, selfless service.
Yes.
I mean, I've done a lot of medevac missions, picked up a lot of Americans. I flew heroes off the battlefield. I've never asked them if they're white, black,
No.
Asian, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Republican, Democrat.
No.
They're American. That's all that matters. And I think one of the greatest things I've seen in combat, I've seen the darkness in humanity and the great side of humanity.
Yeah.
I think we as Americans, we just need to understand that, one, we need to start trusting each other. Not everybody's out there to get you. No
Right.
matter how much you believe it or not, everybody's not full of cynicism, but that's what we're pumped with all day, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think trust, we just have to start trusting each other. And I believe in the resilience of the American people. I mean, we saw it happen 9/11. I've seen it time and time again in combat. Doesn't matter if you're from the South, the North, it doesn't matter. We're American. We wear the same uniform. And we all have a common goal to keep each other.
You
get
know,
home.
one of the common threads that I've saw in all of our soldiers, and I'm super passionate about it. I love anybody that served our country, is the servitude afterwards. I can't get over it. Like I literally cannot get over it, because you serve people like nobody's business. My friend Eric serves people like, it just seems like there's this common thread, and I'm like, we owe you everything. We
Yeah.
should be serving you,
Yeah.
and you. But yet they're still serving, even when they're out of service and retired.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
What are your next steps? I know you want to speak before crowds, and
Yep.
we hope to help you get that word out. And
Yeah, I think God put me through all my trauma so I could help people. God picks the people He's gonna,
Use.
lead the way, and He has to put them through things to make sure they're ready. He's putting me through stuff right now that I'm dealing with, right? But every day I wake up with a smile. First thing I do, I wake up, thank God for another day, and I keep it pushing, right? Because I know how it feels if I didn't have another day.
Yeah.
So I want to do public speaking, continue to help people change your lives. I want to get into helping young men. I want men to realize that it's okay to be a man nowadays.
Yes.
right.
Like this country,
So
we
important.
need powerful leaders in here. Same thing with the young ladies, right? So that's the biggest thing. I want people to understand that. Once again, I said it earlier, all the answers that you need in life are inside of you. Spend the time figuring out who you are so you could get those answers out.
Yeah. Have you wanted to write your story, or
Yeah,
would
actually-
you like to be an author of?
I'm not a good writer, so I'm trying to find somebody to help me write my
Yeah.
book. So I'll go from there if I find somebody, and maybe I'll find somebody on the podcast, right?
You kind of sound like your life would be a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I want my
know?
life
It
to be a
could be,
movie one
yeah.
day.
Who would play you?
I don't know, me. Me, I'm still in a good shape, and
Yeah.
nothing crazy. So
Yeah.
I think I could
That's
play me.
awesome. So you have two sons, or
I got 2 sons, 1 stepson, and then 2 daughters.
wow.
So
So tell me their names.
it's Mateo Malik.
Wow.
I got Elias, Maja, Billie Jean, and then my little baby girl Annalisa.
Oh, I bet they're gorgeous.
Yeah,
I
my
bet
So
baby.
how old is
gorgeous.
the baby now?
She's 5.
Ugh.
I will tell you this: I parent differently my older children to the 5-year-old.
Okay.
I just have the way I see life is different.
Yeah.
When I was in the Army with the older kids, I was a tough dad, stern, it has to be this way. Now that I'm older, it's not that I'm soft, I'm more loving.
Yeah.
It's more nurturing side. I realize that my baby girl needs to see what a real man looks like and how a man should treat a baby and a man and a lady and be nurturing and loving with her. And it's just very important. I want her to see what the standard is. I want to be the standard.
So that model is probably what correct me if I'm wrong, but your life coach mindset is like your 5-year-old daughter.
Correct.
And the football coach or the dad you used to be, maybe a different you're maturing and you're developing what now is going to be your thing,
Correct.
what you're known by. I'm so excited about it.
So I want to know about the 10 core values.
Oh, my 10 core values?
Yeah.
I'm going to look at them, right?
Okay.
This
I
is something.
got to hear this.
Yeah, this is something I got with a branding guy, my buddy Kai, and he helped me. We went through the same process that Apple's been through, Nike's been through, and we figured out what is Jason really about. So we came up with my 10 core values. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I read these every day in the morning. I have a morning ritual just because I'm a disciplined guy and it's something that I do, but I live by these things every single day. I have my vision statement on here. My first one is I lead by example. For me to be a leader, I need to make sure that I'm practicing the things that I preach. I used to not do that, but I do that now. All right. I was a broken man when I first left the Army, drank excessively, had issues, but God got a hold of me. Now I'm fixing myself. Every day is a work in progress, right? So lead by example, say what you mean what you say. That's number 2. These are in no order, but next one, honestly, deliver with compassion is an act of love.
That's a good one.
I feel like people need to be honest with people, but be kind about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? You don't want to, 2 things I try not to do every day, criticize, condemn, or complain. I don't do those things because it will poison your mind. That's one of my core values too. Your future isn't shaped by your past, but the choices you make today. So whatever you've been through, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just decide what you're going to do today. Your mental health thrives on your well-being. Exercising saved my life, okay? I've been diagnosed with several PTSDs, anxiety issues. I mean, I've been to combat 3 times, medevac pilot. So I've always been in the thick of things, not just chilling out in the combat zone.
Yeah.
Choose positivity. Complaining poisons your mind. Be loyal to those around you. You reflect the company you keep.
Good.
Failure stems from a lack of trust and discipline. Keep your word plus showing up consistently equals dependability. I think a lot of people need dependable people in their life. And your effort creates the standard you live.
Wow.
So those are my
So
10.
good.
Yeah, those are my 10 core
how would
values.
somebody, I guess this is an April connection, but how would somebody who is watching us today from Omaha, Nebraska, or from, Gallatin, Tennessee, how would you want to interact, and what would somebody do to say, I kind of need your I need somebody to be accountable to me.
Yeah.
And sometimes, Jason, people need somebody who doesn't know all their story.
Yeah.
They just need you. They need to have to verbalize it. So you're coaching them from a place of a cold information. Like all you know from them is what they're willing to tell you, and that pulls. But what would be the next step for somebody who says, I think I need this?
You have several steps. You could get on Instagram.
Okay.
My handle is the_JAYSANTI JSanti_lifestyle. Just
Okay.
DM me. All right.
Yeah.
TikTok is the same handle. YouTube, same handle. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. Facebook, same thing. Just my first and last name, Jason Santiago.
He's got these little reels and these little tips all the time. I watch them because it's
That's
just
awesome.
little nuggets.
Yeah.
I'm easy to
Yeah.
find. I tell everybody, if you're looking for me, you'll find me.
find
You're an open book.
Yeah, you will find
I can
me.
tell that by this interview that you don't just want us to know your together self. You've shared that you didn't parent right.
Yep.
We hadn't parented right. I want to do over on a bunch of years.
Yes.
And you didn't. You self-medicated,
Yep.
and you didn't deal with your with your anxiety in the right way.
Yep.
And so the fact that you're able to be transparent and say, because I've done it wrong, I know I was able to fix that.
Yeah.
And you're your own best coach, and you know how to love somebody into being their better self.
Correct.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
Like, aren't you proud of
I
that?
love it. Yes. And I also love that your program is you could literally talk to somebody in Omaha,
it
Nebraska.
doesn't matter where you're at.
It doesn't matter where you're at. And so I guess you do it over Zoom or
Yep,
something
Zoom.
like that. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
cool.
Well, I hope that you've really enjoyed this today. We thank you, Jason, for
You're
coming
welcome.
on. We will have you on again.
Yeah.
Thank you, April, for connecting us.
Yes.
We're just excited to maybe give you a little hope and a little encouragement. Maybe it's a Jason in your life that you need, and maybe you're a single young female that would like to also get a little one-on-one, and we'll hook you up with that too. But anyway, I'm a matchmaker at heart, but I'm just a mama. I'm a mama over here. I'm a Southern mama. Thank you for joining us today. As you know, we love you so much. We appreciate you being here. Get it together, y'all. We're here to help.